Let me show you how I made these DIY fairy wings and headpiece for my first ever fairy ball. This was my main inspiration image, but I just wanted to make it a little bit more woodland fairy. I used a hot glue gun, pliers, craft paper, metal wire, floral wire, preserved moss, and an assortment of faux foliage, as well as some butterflies. So step one, you're going to draw out what you want your wings to look like. This is going to be your template. I drew it a few times and then I went over my final option in Sharpie. And then to start out with, I bordered the wing frame and taped those pieces down so there would be a little bit of structure as I built out the inside. The upper right really shows you what this looks like in real speed. It is quite tedious wrapping it around and making sure it's nice and snug and cutting off the excess. As you make these, you're going to have an extended piece that you're going to use to connect them together. Basically, you're going to make them into a U shape, and that's what's going to stick down into a corset. Here I'm going to add some cross bracing. If I did this again, I would add a second set of that cross bracing to make it a little bit more sturdy. And then I went into making my headpiece. I did follow a tutorial. It ended up looking really good, but I will say I actually struggled understanding how the overlapping was working with that. I made up this next step, but I think it was really nice actually. I had leftover scrap pieces from making a snuffle mat for my dog, and I just wrapped those around the metal that was going to be in contact with my skin. And then I laid out all of the faux foliage, and I did a mixture here of using the hot glue gun as well as wrapping some of that floral wire around, and it worked really well to where I didn't have to use that much glue, and the floral wire is like very camouflaged, so you don't notice it at all. I just want to say, if you don't have a wireless hot glue gun, I highly recommend you get one if you're a crafty person, because it was an absolute game changer. It heats up while it's on that stand, and then when you pick it up, there's no cord, so you're able to freely move around without it getting caught on your project. Absolutely amazing. And the last day I worked on this, I just had to add the moss. This was actually during book club, and they were like, what the heck are you doing? I was like, don't worry about it, I'm making wings. And so to apply the moss, it was basically the same way. I was putting it down in sections with the hot glue and then wrapping it with the floral wire to make sure that it's secure. And then this is the final look. I truly don't think I could be happier than I am with it. It is so much better than I could have even imagined. This was about 12 hours of construction work and it was brutal. It was like 2 months after I'd had a wrist surgery, so the hand and wrist strength was really tested, but oh my gosh, I just love it so much. The event was absolutely amazing, and now I keep my headpiece on my shelf and I keep my wings on my gallery wall. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope some of you are inspired to make your own.